Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to NBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. Oh, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? The world-renowned philosopher Cornell Haynes Jr., a.k.a. Nelly, once said in his revolutionary ballad, Air Force Ones, featuring Murphy Lee, "Give me two pairs. I need two pairs." In case you didn't know, Georgia now has not one, but two quarterbacks going to the Elite 11 finals out there in LA next month. And of course, yes, first off, we will be there. We will be nice and present. We will be nice and present out there in Los Angeles for both the OT7 finals, which is like the biggest 7-on-7 event in the world, and the Elite 11 finals. They happen to coincide right in the same 4-day span. We will be out there in LA for that, first and foremost. Secondly, there has been such thing as this happening before in Elite 11 finals history. This idea that two quarterback commits to one school in one class are invited to be one of the final 22 quarterbacks invited to the Elite 11 finals. This has happened before. In fact, your Georgia Bulldogs have done this in 2009, or the class of 2009. This would have been the Elite 11 class of 2008. Aaron Murray and Zach Mettenberger were obviously in the Elite 11 finals together. If you remember, you probably don't, because that was quite a while ago. Aaron Murray happened to win the event that season, or that year. He won the Elite 11 finals MVP, and he went on to eventually win the job due to some other circumstances and whatnot after a year at the University of Georgia. The other example was last year, Jaden Rashada and Emory Williams. They happened to be both committed to Miami at the time during the event last year. And if you will remember, by August, I think it was Jaden Rashada was out of that class. Emory Williams sticks around at Miami as the three-star quarterback signing that they had last year in that 2023 class. And Jaden Rashada ends up at, I believe, Arizona State after a kerfuffle with Florida, and then to Arizona State. So it was not Miami, but nonetheless, they had two commits. But there has been previous examples of this, and history will tell you that this doesn't take to like standard workout or typically work out for both players at both schools, right? Mettenberger ends up finishing his career at LSU. And like I told you, Jaden Rashada doesn't even end up in the Miami class. So typically when you have two commits at the Elite 11 finals, you're not going to have both of those quarterbacks on the roster. You might not even get them to the signing day. So says history, but let's talk about what it means for Georgia, right? So history is not necessarily on your side, but let's talk about it from your standpoint. I'd say based off everything I know of this situation, you got about an 85 to, I'd say, 90% chance right now, June or, May 29th. Right now, May 29th, 2023, you got about an 85 to 90% chance of signing both of these guys in your class, okay? And I don't know what the other rankings say. I don't really care. Take out the rankings because, like I said, I don't care what the rankings say. I know what the college programs that I talked to thought about this class of quarterbacks, right? The 2024 class. Hey, coach, what does y'all's board say? Okay. And the programs, the elite of elite programs that I talked to that gave me feedback on that, it was three names. Okay. Dylan Raiola was at the top of it. Okay. And then it was Ryan Puglisi and our guy that's committed to Alabama. I got his name right here in the notes. I can't believe I'm forgetting it. Where's it at? Julian Sayin. Okay, those were the three names. Okay, Dylan Raiola, Ryan Puglisi, Julian Sayin. Okay, and Georgia's board was Dylan Raiola, Ryan Puglisi, Julian Sayin. Right there, 1, 2, 3. They are in the position right now to not only land one of the three, but two of the three on their board. I think it's miraculous, if you will. I think there's no other word I can really come to mind right now, but it's rather incredible that Kirby Smart has managed to win two national titles as what everyone has been known as like the defensive guy. He's been the defensive guy, the defensive guy, the defensive guy. That's all everyone really talks about with Kirby Smart. And he's already won two national titles with, now I'm not going to say mediocre quarterback play, but mediocre quarterback talent. It's not elite, top end, 5-star talent that he's played with at the quarterback position so far. And he's managed to win two national titles. The guy had his first 4,000-yard receiver in school history this last year. and won a national title, his second in a row. So, not that the world of college football didn't know, but it should be kind of put on notice that, like, hey, this guy's not only getting the pick of the litter, they've had what they've wanted to on the recruiting trail for a long time at a lot of positions, except for two, the quarterback position and the wide receiver position. And the quarterback position is clearly changed. This dude has never signed two quarterbacks in a single class in his career. And he's about to sign the top two guys on his board, or he has a chance to do so. That's absurd. That's absurd. Again, like, they are in a world and an era of domination at the University of Georgia, and they just now unlocked the next thing. The next the gemstones that my man wears in the Avengers, the Affinity Stones or whatever. Yeah, he just got another one, and it was the last one. Okay, if he starts landing 5-star receivers like Jeremiah Smith, which is looking rather good right now, not gonna say great. We might have a sliding scale majiggy thingy in there for him over on patreon.com/Brooks Austin. But man, you start throwing quarterbacks into this. Stu's ran roughshod over college football. Okay, again, with not necessarily top of the line quarterback play. And here he is about to sign his top two targets. Silly stuff going on in Athens right about now. 2 pairs, Kirby Smart, 2 pairs. That's exactly what he needs up in that quarterback room. By the way, if you haven't listened to Air Force Ones by Nelly, my boy Murphy Lee has an absolute just bar. Okay, not like some people nowadays in rap, they're like bars are like 2 lines, and it's like, oh, that was a really clever rhyme. No. This is like a serenade in like 40 words. It tells a whole story. We up in Foot Locker. I'm looking like I need those 10.5. And if you got them, give me 2 of those. I can tell she's never seen Murphy Lee before because she's just standing there as if I'm shooting free throws. I said, excuse me, miss, I only want to buy shoes. She said, I love you, Murph, especially in them white and blues. I said, them white and blues. It sounds nice. Make it twice. I signed an autograph and told her thanks for the advice. What? You rappers these days, you kids these days listen to rap music. You don't know rap music. That is rap music. That is bars. That is my man telling a whole story about walking up into the shoe store and a lady recognizing him and telling him she loves him in a pair of white and blue Air Force Ones. And he said, you know what? Great idea. Give me 2 of them, right? I love 6'3", 220-pound quarterbacks that got daggum howitzers for arms. Coach, matter of fact, give me 2 of those. 2 pairs, Kirby Smart. We got a loaded show for you guys tonight. 2 dogs, like I said, will be out in LA. We'll talk about the Elite 11 finals and what they mean to an evaluator such as myself. Going to give you a preview of some special content we got coming down the pipe here on the channel that I want to kind of hype up and build up so you guys show up and support it, unlike, off-season numbers today. Don't think I don't see you. The folks that are here, man, I'm going to tell you what. There's a Game 7 NBA Eastern Finals going on right now. There's a bunch of competing channels going on right now with some streams, and your boy's up in here at 9 o'clock on a Monday on a holiday. So those of you who are here today, you're elite. All right, you're elite. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, do all that stuff, fire up that chat. We're glad to be here, man. It's my fault. I took about a week off. I let you guys get comfortable. I've been pounding out shows all off season. Let you guys get comfortable. Took a whole week off and became a normal human being for a little while. And I come back to a less than stellar stream. But it's all good, baby. We're going to pound out that content tonight. I'm extremely excited about the show sheet that we've got for you tonight as well. I do want to acknowledge something first before we get going. Happy Memorial Day was something that people say out of ignorance. And in fact, I used to say it out of ignorance. And when I mean that, it's like just a simple not knowing, right? Just a lack of knowledge. That's all ignorant means. People use it as a derogatory term. It's not meant that way. Pure ignorance out of the lack of knowledge. Okay. And when people say that Happy Memorial Day, that's ignorant. That is a lack of knowledge statement because today is not about happy thoughts. Today is about thankful thoughts. Today is about remembering those that lost their lives in the battles that fought for freedom around this planet. Today is not only about understanding that freedom does not come free, but thanking those who sacrificed for us. When I think about those in the military in this fine country, selfishly, okay, I think about my encounter with the academies because everything from this channel comes out from my point of view and my perspective. For those of you who don't know, I'm a 6'1" human being, which meant a 6'1" human being that not only is 6'1", I'm built like a fire hydrant. So the idea of me playing Power 5 football was like not going to happen, like never, ever going to happen. But 17-year-old me didn't exactly know that. And I'll never forget an Air Force football coach pulling me out of Miss McCatherine's AP English class my junior year going into my senior year. And he was giving me the whole spill, like a degree from Air Force, have you set for life, son, all that good stuff. Kind of explaining to me how the academy works, what it's like to be an athlete at the academy, and what their schedule looks like and what the demands are and all that good stuff. And I kind of stopped him like midway through, and I was like, Coach, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not cut out for that. That's not for me. I don't want to waste your time. I appreciate you. I ain't doing that. That's not me. All right. First of all, what a, pardon my French, shithead way of going about things at the time. Okay. Don't ever do that. If anyone wants to approach you about any opportunity, don't ever just do that. Right. Even if you were 100% honest, which at that point I was, good on me for being 100% honest, but you don't necessarily have to do it that way. But I know what I am and I know what I'm not. I am not selfless enough to be in the military. I'm not disciplined enough to be in the military, and I'm not tough enough to be in the military. I will tell you that for right now, for certain. So for those of you that are or going to protect this nation in any form, I thank you. You are truly, sincerely a better person than me from top to bottom. I truly mean that with all sincerity. And considering, this is the most important thing here, considering the meaning and the purpose of today that we just laid out. I want those that are listening to this to know that they have, whether they've suffered loss or trauma due to war or service, that you might struggle through days like today, or days like today might bring up some types of thoughts or feelings or anything you might want somebody to talk to. I am here. We are here. This channel is here. Everyone is here for you. Just do not hesitate to reach out. I do truly mean that. Okay. My Twitter DMs have stopped. I've locked those up. But if you ever need me, anybody, Instagram. Okay. Instagram, same username as you possibly would imagine. Okay. So yeah, shouts out to all the folks that are out here giving some service to this country. Again, much, much better person than I am. Not selfless enough to do that. I love me some me, man. I love me some me. Dude, I'm going to tell you what, I want to take a moment to give a shout out to some SPF ginger. Okay. My wife is a very fair-skinned woman, and she has explained to me the importance of sunscreen. And as you can tell, we did not necessarily use it this weekend. That's on me. All right. So we are nice and burnt and toasted, looking like a lobster out here. But I do want to take a moment to preview some content that's coming down the pipe here. Is it coming down the pipe or coming down the pipe? You would think it would be coming down the pipe. Got some content coming down the pipe for you guys. I've said on this channel multiple times, I say it every time I get the opportunity to, I think I have the coolest job in the world. I think I try to have the passion and uncommon energy that displays that. I freaking love what I do. I do not struggle to do what I do at all. I get up and I do it every single day, and I love doing it. And I think people are intrigued by what it is that I do. I think I have an awesome, very, very cool job. And I thought it would be cool to bring you guys on a day of work with me. So that's what we did this past weekend during Cam Newton's 7-on-7 Memorial Day tournament. Your boy got mic'd up. I brought some camera crews out with me. We kind of walked through the day and did kind of, I guess you would call that a vlog, a video like blog type deal. Don't know how it's going to turn out. Don't know anything about it. I know that my boy Create with Dre and my boy Flicks by Joe took care of me. So it's going to come out great. I need you guys, listen to me right now. When you see this come out, I need you to support it. Okay. Because if you like it, and if you think it's good stuff, dude, I want to do this every week. I want to go to Friday night games and have people with us so you guys can come with us. All right. So it's not just me tweeting a couple things out. Like, we can actually do these things, and we can go places, and we can show you cool things and cool interactions with cool people and bring it to you and show it to you. But you have to show up and support. Okay. Speaking of showing up and supporting, you will hear me say this in this content when it comes out. And I told Cam this Saturday, Cam Newton, and say whatever. I know it's a Georgia page. I know this is a Georgia account. I know that. I know you guys are Georgia fans, most of you that watch this. Say what you want about him as the Auburn football player. Say what you want about him as the Florida transfer, whatever. I'm talking about Cam Newton, the person who gives back to Atlanta and the state of Georgia right now. That's who I'm talking about. So the preceding statement, remember that. There are 155 guys in the year of 2022 on active NFL rosters. 155 from the state of Georgia. That is a lot. And of those 155 football players, there are a bunch of them that give back tons and tons of money. I am not pocket watching when I say this. There are a bunch of them that give back money, and that's great. They all do. Every single one of them. If they love their place where they came from, they give back. I'm not saying that they don't. But there's only one that I know of that gives back their time. Okay, because money, stroking a check and pouring back are two different things. Paying back and pouring back, two totally different things. Cam Newton, every single spring, winter, spring, and summer, is pouring back into the young men from the Atlanta area and from the North Carolina area, from the South Carolina area, from the Alabama area, from the New Orleans area. All these great athletes. He's bringing them in. He's loving on them. He's providing for them, and he's giving them an opportunity to go other places. If that is not exactly what we call our elites of elites to do in this world, to give back and to impact others, what are we doing? All right, so I want to give that shout out, okay? There's not a ton of that, all right? Again, there's a ton of, like what Trayvon Walker did. Trayvon Walker, and I don't know if he's going back doing camps. I don't know. But I know Trayvon Walker gave a bunch of money to Lee County, to Upson Lee this last year. I know he did because I saw it on Twitter. We see all those things, and those are great, again. But this man, Cam, I see him every summer truly caring about what it is he's doing and giving back to individuals and young men out there on the recruiting trail. And again, that's what we call these people to do. That's what we ask them to do. So golf clap to him right there. Yeah, so when that content, like I said, when that content comes out, please show us some love. As for the Elite 11, we talked about it earlier. We told you that Georgia's got 2 quarterback commits going to it. It's only happened 3 times in the event's history. The other time was, if you're just showing up tonight, Aaron Murray and Zach Mettenberger, and then Jaden Rashada and our boy down there in Miami this past season. So what does it mean? What is the Elite 11? What are we doing there? For me, just speaking me, it's invaluable. It is absolutely invaluable what I do out in LA every single year when the Elite 11 finals come around. It's actually just as valuable for me to see it in the regional area when they come to Atlanta and they do their regional here every April, every March, whenever it is. It was a couple weeks ago here in Atlanta. So it's extremely valuable for me to go out and see this. We have we have 22 of the best quarterbacks. I'm not going to say they're the best 22. We have 22 of the best quarterbacks in the country, but I will tell you for a fact, we've got the best 5 or 10 out there in LA in the circuit this year as well. I have always said on this channel, everywhere else, anywhere anyone will have me, the quarterback position is the one position I will not give my 100% evaluation without having seen the player throw. I can't do it. I can be relatively good to great evaluation, hit rate, all that good stuff on film alone. Every other position, I have got to go see a quarterback throw. It's impossible to quantify what is actually happening unless you see it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just how the ball comes off their hands. And if you know, you know. So being able to see these guys lined up, throwing after one another, against one another for 3 days, it's invaluable. You know exactly what a guy can and can't do with his arm by the time they leave that event. You know without a shadow of a doubt what the physical capabilities of the human being are. No doubt, from a throwing the football perspective. But for me, it's also a chance to evaluate the person, okay? Which brings me to my most crystal clear and obvious rant of the night, okay? If you hear no other rant, listen to this one right now, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, if the position of quarterback were based solely on who is the best thrower of the football, then they would call it something like the throwing back. All right. If it was a simple ass position as some of these other positions, like the guy that stands in the back that runs the ball, or the guy that stands out wide and receives the catch. Okay. If it were simple as all these other positions, it would have a simple ass name, but it does not. Okay. It does not. And it is not. It is not a simple position. It is not as simple as thrower of the football. That is not what the position is. Okay. It is not just about how well you throw the ball. In fact, I would argue it's far less about how well you throw the football than it is anything else. Joe Montana, mediocre to above average thrower. Tom Brady, mediocre to above average thrower. Peyton Manning, no above average, straight up mediocre. That was a mediocre arm for 18, however many years he played in the NFL. Okay, how many MVPs and Super Bowls that guy won. Drew Brees, mediocre to above average arm. Not a howitzer. That dude doesn't throw it 100 mile an hour. Joe Burrow, mediocre to above average arm. These are legends. These are guys that will go down in the annuals of professional football. Okay, for every Patrick Mahomes, there is a Joe Burrow. For every Josh Allen, there is a Drew Brees. For every Brett Favre, there's a Peyton Manning. For every single one of these guys that is a special thrower, there is a guy that got it done to the highest of levels as equal to the great throwers with just this up here. And just everything else you can't evaluate physically. Okay? And I can't speak for other people that go to these events. I can't speak for other people that go to the Elite 11. But as for me, as for my house, as for what we do out there, we figure something out about the person behind the arm every single time we go out there. Every single time we go out there. In 2021, it was clear as the sunny skies out in LA were to me that Cade Klubnik was the alpha of all alphas in that group. Okay? It was also very clear to me that Quinn Ewers, the number one ranked quarterback in the history of quarterbacks at that time before Arch Manning the next year, okay? Quinn Ewers, very obvious, very clear from day one when he showed up to Elite 11 finals, that dude did not care. He did not care about where his feet were. He did not care about the little things. He did not care about the small, minute details that require you to be excellent at this position. But damn, could he throw a football? Damn, could he throw a football? As well as anybody you'd ever seen. God dang, he could throw the football. But it was very, very evident, very, very obvious. Dude didn't really care. Didn't really care about the minute details that require excellence. Not at all. Okay, so guess what? All right, here we are. Now 2 years later, Quinn Ewers is on his second football team. Okay, and guess what? Wild inconsistencies on the football field. Inaccuracies, balls being misplaced left and right, good games one day, bad games the next. What is that a direct reflection of? That's a direct reflection of not maintaining the little things required to be great at the position. It did not change. It has not changed. And guess what? Cade Klubnik, despite his physical limitations that we were obvious and noticed out in LA, that dude walked into a Clemson locker room and pushed out a fourth-year starter. That dude's at Oregon State now. Say what you want about DJ Uiagalelei. A freshman, an 18, 19-year-old kid walked in there and said, all right. By the way, far less physically capable than DJ Uiagalelei. But he does all the quarterback things. That require to be a quarterback, not just a thrower of the football. Okay? 2 years later, these things still stand. Listen to this. This is a take we delivered here on this channel. First of all, love watching all the different changes around this network every time we pull out old footage. But this is how this happens. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know who I'm going to come back with a massive impression on, good or bad, from LA this spring or this summer, next week. I don't know. 2 months. 2 months, 2 weeks. Middle of June, 2 weeks. When I go out there, I don't know who this impression is going to come off of. But I'll tell you what, going out to LA and watching Quinn Ewers work, not to do the I told you so stuff, but listen to this. This was me right after in July when he decided that he was going to reclass basically to chase some NIL money. Here we go. See this. I know everyone has told Quinn Ewers that he's God's gift to football. I understand. Hell, he's the highest rated quarterback that I've ever covered. That's for sure. I mean, he's at one point higher rated than Trevor Lawrence. That's facts. Higher rated than Justin Fields. Higher rated than every quarterback in the history of quarterbacks, I'm pretty sure. The highest rated ever. But he just entered a quarterback room and a program that doesn't historically really care about what you were ranked in high school. They don't. At Ohio State, they do not care what you did in high school. They don't. Neither does Georgia. Neither does Alabama. Neither does Texas. Neither does Oklahoma. They don't. They don't care. They do not. So you go and you go get into a quarterback room with C.J. Stroud, a redshirt freshman, Jack Miller, a redshirt freshman, Kyle McCord, a true freshman who's now in your class, all of which extremely highly touted coming out of high school. Were they the highest ranked quarterback ever? No. Did they have a magical mullet? No. Are they great football players? Yes. They 100% are. So guess what you needed, in my opinion, if you were Quinn Ewers? You needed some space. You need some time to lapse in between you and three freshmen who you're ultimately going to compete against. I mean, that's me telling you, I think Bud's about to transfer as soon as he gets there. And sure as shit, he was in the portal by December, I believe it was. Yeah, so we learn something every time we go out here. Like the fact that Malik Murphy, the dude who's the actual 2 right now in Texas, freakazoid. Absolute freakazoid. 6'4", 230 pounds, throws it like 80 yards, just like our boy Joe Milton up there, which that rant might as well have been called the Joe Milton rant. Guys, it's not just fans. It's not just coaches in college. It's freaking NFL evaluators. They keep falling for it. Throwing the football is great. It's a prerequisite for playing quarterback, but that's not the whole evaluation. Anthony Richardson, our boy from Will Levis, all right? Now it's Joe Milton, okay? It is not just about how hard or how good you throw the football. That's not it, all right? There's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into playing this position. Again, for every Brett Favre who won it off of God, all right? Brett Favre, ladies and gentlemen, got to play professional football and set NFL records because God did. Not because he was out here working for it. God did. All right. The rest of them had to work for it. All right. So unless you him, which I don't think a lot of people are, all right, the combination of him and working hard is Pat Mahomes, and he's going to literally rewrite every record book. He's probably, I mean, I don't know how you win more than Tom, but he's going to do absolutely everything. I don't know. I know how I did it. I know exactly how I did it. I went through 4 pages of show notes here in 27 minutes because I haven't been on air in so long that I was so excited to just rattle these things off for you. It is a massive, massive recruitment weekend this weekend at the University of Georgia. There are 16, count them, 16 official visits going on. If you want the list of visits, or the list of visitors, I should say, visit patreon.com/Brooks Austin. I'm going to talk about a couple of these guys right now that I think are absolute must-haves. Okay, first of all, your offensive line class kind of checking out a little bit clearer, okay, or seeming a little bit clearer now with Marcus Harrison and our boy Malachi Tolliver in the class already. Okay, I'm going to rattle off some names here that are some guys you need to be keeping tabs on and that we're going to talk about here on this channel when Brooks's Big Board rolls out. That's right. We are doing Brooks's Big Board again this year. I've already got them ranked. Already got them evaluated. We're going to be bringing it to you eventually. Just don't know when, okay? So no promises there, but we definitely have it. We might wait for it until this fall, and you'll understand why, or maybe not this fall, but maybe a little later this summer. It's so much to up to something season right now. Y'all have no idea. You're gonna find out. You're gonna be like, damn, okay. And I'm gonna say, I told us so. I freaking told us so. Anyways, offensive line class looking really, really clear at this point. Okay, Marcus Harrison, Malachi Tolliver are the 2 commits. They're good football players. They're nothing like the ones you're continuing to pursue right now, including Daniel Calhoun, who will be on his official visit this weekend. I think Daniel Calhoun is the most important in-state offensive line prospect since Amarius Mims. Okay, next year that will change. It's David Sanders and then Juan Gaston. David Sanders is in North Carolina. Juan Gaston's here in the state of Georgia. That dude is insane. Juan Gaston might be able to play on Sundays if, like right now, if he was not 15 years old. He's stupid. Anyways, 2024 official visits this weekend. Daniel Calhoun, that's a big one. You kind of got to have him, and they will recruit him and perform as such this weekend, I would imagine. So that's the name I'm looking at this weekend. As far as the offensive line class goes, you're only going to take maybe 5, all right? Definitely 5, maybe 6 if you get frisky. So there's already 2 in the class. We're looking at 3 names. I already told you about Daniel Calhoun. I know they love Nair Daniels. Where's Casey Poe fit in the mix? I know they love Eddie Pierre-Louis down there from Florida. I will tell you this. When Stacey Searles got hired, we came on this program and we said, hey, 86 sacks last 2 seasons. Coaching career arcs do this, right? They go up and then they come back down. This was a guy who had came up, all right, was at Georgia in 2012 or 2009, 2010, then went to Texas, okay, and then started teetering down and then suddenly came back up to Georgia. All right, I'm telling you right now, dude's passed all the bars. In 2021, when he took over the job, the 2022 class was desolate, okay? It was abysmal. 3/4 of them are gone. 3/5 of them are off the roster already. We don't have to call out any names, but only 2 of the 5 guys they signed in the class of 2022 are on the roster. Do you know why? Because they didn't really have an offensive line coach out there recruiting. So when Stacy took over the job, when Coach Searles took over the job, there was a lot of digging some out of some holes. And now we look at the commits list, right? We look at the prospects list, and I look at my board after evaluating these sons of guns, and he's got the bottom 2 committed, and he's got an opportunity to land a couple of these guys on the top that I think are studs. I think Nair Daniels is a bona fide Sunday dude. I think Marcus Easley, bona fide Sunday dude. I think Eddie Pierre-Louis is going to start in the SEC for 3 years and then go play on Sundays at the offensive guard position. Okay, you are in rooms with Sunday football players again at the offensive line position. And when that dude, like I said, when he took over that job, that was not the case. Okay, I think it was very underreported because he did a great job as a football coach and they won a national title in 2021. I think it was very underreported how kind of feet up on the desk recruiting style was going on under the guy prior to Searles. All right, there was some, hey, coach, at the end of the year, I'm gonna coach my butt off this year, but I'm exhausted, man. You know, that kind of deal. And when that comes out, recruiting starts to take impacts because Georgia is not like all these other places. I've explained this on this channel before. Georgia is not like these other places. Georgia requires their position coaches to do their damn job. They have got to recruit. You get to walk around with that big Power G logo on your chest and all the power and resources that come with it, and you get the best closer in the college football world in recruiting in Kirby Smart to walk in right before official visits end or right before commitment decisions are made, and he gets to help you out and push you over the edge. But your room is your room, Cortez Hankton. Okay, so when the room looks like it does now, where you haven't signed a 5-star since George Pickens, all right, and that's the only one you've signed, stuff's got to change, right? Insert Coach McFadden. I think Coach B-Mac, McClendon. I don't know why I want to call him McFadden. Anyways, insert Coach B-Mac, Brian McClendon. And now you've got chances. You're in rooms with dudes now at the wide receiver position as well. Those 2 positions, I was genuinely concerned about the level at which you were recruiting. Not anymore. Not anymore. You are in there like swimwear. Appreciate all you guys for being here today, okay? I know I said we had a lot of odds stacked up against us. We had a lot of other ops going on. We had a lot of other people doing shows. Good for them. Shouts out to them. We had some NBA Finals stuff going on. Not NBA Finals. We had some Game 7 stuff going on that I'm going to hop over to right now. Had a lot going on tonight, and you guys chose here, and I appreciate you for being here. I love you. I'll see you next time. Peace out.